Yeah, classic radio roundup, the warm-up session. Oh, come on, everybody can't be afraid of a little bit of static crashes. Classic radio roundup, warm them up, now's the time.
I hear you out there, classic radio roundup. That's the stuff you spray on weeds, right?
Well, if it's an old bottle of Roundup, I guess that would make it a classic radio roundup.
If you spray that on classic radios, though, what happens?
I don't know. Sounds like something we can experiment on one of your radios.
Actually, if you see some of these radios over here, I think it's already been done.
You know, I wonder if Roundup gets rid of nicotine stains.
Best way to get rid of nicotine is ammonia. Get yourself some ammonia. And you just put that all over whatever it is and rinse it off, spray it off. You can spray it on everything. The ammonia evaporates pretty quickly. And then the offending device will only smell like ammonia for about 2 or 3 months. And a year later, you can never tell that anybody ever lit a cigarette near this device. I've done that.
And this has been your classic radio roundup restoration tip.
Yes. Actually, I have an amplifier here that I picked up from a friend that was a heavy smoker. This thing, and you know, the nicotine, that preserves stuff. People say, oh, it degrades electronics. No, it doesn't. It preserves them. Because they can't oxidize, because they can't get to oxygen, because it's a coat of nicotine. Anyway, you get rid of that crap. And the stuff is like new. It's like the 70s again. Yeah, look at this. I got a Dentron amp sitting over here. This thing looks like brand new because the guy was a smoker. Now, his lungs, they do not look like brand new.
Yeah, it doesn't preserve lungs so well, but it does preserve electronics. And I've noticed that from my own experience. After cleaning all that crap off, underneath everything's been protected by that film. So yeah, it looks grody, it looks nasty. Once you clean it all away, though, it acts like almost sort of like a cosmoline.
Oh no!
Oh no is what he said.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Classic Radio Roundup.
Classic Radio Roundup 27.115 on your AM radio dial.
Hello, Sandbagger.
Yes, sir. Good evening. Yes, it is. Oh, there is a bunch of static crashes going on out there. Yucky weather once again.
Oh, but the static crashes here are nothing like the 80-meter static crashes, so this is good.
Oh, yeah, the lower bands are always worse. You hear the static crashes from hundreds of miles away.
It got to be so that full legal limit power was only just enough.
Yeah, that's just wrong somehow.
But Wayne is transmitting now with 100 watts of carrier power.
Yeah, sounds like me. Yeah, I want to see you put 100 watts into that hand stick. Yeah, but that's just on 80 meters. Hold it onto the gutter. Send me a video. Oh, no. Now my noise level just kicked in. Oh, Lord.
I think that hand stick would handle 100 watts, but probably not anymore. I think much above 100 watts, it might melt down into a blob of copper. But I think somewhere in my past, I probably ran 100 watts into one of them.
Yeah, but full carrier AM duty cycle, that's a lot of soup. Well, who knows? Will it take 100 watts? Will it take 200 watts? Will it fit in the bread basket? I don't know.
Yeah, you've never put that kind of power into it, have you?
Well, 100 watts PEP, but not 100 watts carrier.
I don't know. For some reason, I think 100 watts carrier, I wouldn't try any more than that if I was going to try it.
And I'm not going to do that on 80 meters anyway because it doesn't work. Beautiful, flat SWR, but, if you can't hear me, then it's like transmitting into a dummy load, so.
You need a ZEP antenna.
Led Zeppelin? Yeah, I'm into that. You need like a piece of magnet wire headed towards the woods. You have woods, right? I'm sorry, I've got a Project X mulling around in my mind right now.
Ooh, Project X. And you do realize that the antenna does not necessarily need to go in a straight line.
Yes, I do realize that. That's what the essence of Project X is here.
If there's a way to overcome and adapt, and you really want it, I have no doubt you'll figure it out.
Yeah, well, that's really the bottom line, is motivation or lack thereof. I haven't really been that motivated, but if something makes me want to be motivated, and of course, the way Murphy's Law works, I'll get this thing to work, and I'll be fat, dumb, and happy on 80 meters, and you guys, let's go back to 160.
Well, I'm already formulating a plan to try and figure out how to get Wayne on 160 for the winter months in his restricted lot. So I'm accepting the challenge, and like I got him this far. I want to see how far I can, how close I can get him to that goalpost. So my challenge is Wayne's gain.
Wayne gain? And that sounds like a radio. Wayne's gain.
I know. That just sort of came out like I'm a poet and didn't know it. But yeah, I plan on making improvements over there for Wayne, and I have all the parts, except for the ones I need to fabricate. But I got all the major parts necessary to build him a balanced line tuner. So that's the first step.
I was online and I heard those don't work.
Speaking of which, that's another thing that crossed my mind and then evaporated, but now it just returned. I did a search on Q Argument Z, and all I put in there was Behringer DSP 9024. And whose post do you think turned up in my search?
Donald Trump?
One of yours.
Let me tell you something. I first heard about this box from Uncle Willie, W3DUQ, who was, in 1957, an AMer, and he refused to get off the AM when everybody was getting on sideband. And he went on and on and on and on, and Chucky has some of Uncle Willie's rigs, as he passed away a bunch of years ago. Anyway, this guy was the most progressive buy a brand new rice box, rip the thing apart, figure out how to make it work well on AM, including, you know, triple layer boards, stuff like FT1000. This guy was progressive. He made stuff happen, okay? And that was his favorite processor. He thought it was great, except his radio stuff was in a trailer. And the trailer got hot and cold, and all the fog on the circuit board caused all kinds of problems for him. He finally said, I've had enough, it's not worth it. But in a climate-controlled environment, the DSP 9024, you can't beat it. But if you're going to talk to anybody else out there in radio land, like Clark or anybody, you're going to get an argument, because audio processing is like, remember the Irish Republican Army, you know, the Protestants and the Catholics blowing up each other's crap in the 70s? You have the Shia or the Shiites and the, what's the other one of those other guys over there, you know, blow up each other's stuff because Muhammad made a left-hand turn coming out of the temple, but the other guy said that he made a right-hand turn, so we're going to kill you and all your family because you don't believe in that. Audio is the same thing.
Yeah, you're thinking of the Sunnis and the Shiites, but yeah, point taken. It's like balance line tuners, link coupled tuners, this kind of that kind. It's like you said before. It's like religion. People adopt their religion and they stick by it, whether it's Catholics or Protestants, Shiites and Sunnis. Oh yeah, I can't see myself coming to that kind of, I don't know, kind of level of it. But I will stand by stuff that I discover works. And if it works and does what I want it to do in the manner that I want to do it, well, then I'm going to stick by it. And maybe I just will have faith, and maybe it'll become religion for me too.
Oh no! Put your hands on the radio. Do I hear an amen?
Yeah, what was that, Dave? You had those, Father John or something. You got recordings on your page about all that. Was that Father John or something?
Yeah, Father John's workshop. That was Piero.
Yeah. Well, we'll have Father John's audio shop.
Yeah. That almost sounds like some 41 meter activity.
I'm headed down that road, Dave. 31 band EQ. I got started.
31 band EQ. That's like 15 bands too many.
No, precision, man. Precision is what we're talking about. Precision tailoring of the audio.
Yes, but never let the pursuit of perfection blind you to the good enough.
Now, you know me long enough. You know, like, I like to get it good enough and then worry about the strive for perfection later.
I'm just happy this stinking thing works.
It's time to call up the Classic Radio Roundup. It's past the top of the hour.
Well, it's Classic Radio Roundup, all right. I am running right now a Tram Diamond 40. I figured I was going to do multiple mobile madness tonight, but I don't know. It all depends, because I've got Radio Bob on my shoulders, and he seems to be very comfortable right now, so I may not be moving much.
Wayne's got a Diamond 40 over there in his pile of stuff. To get to his AL80, I had to move a whole lot of radios out of the way. I'm like, oh my God, you got a lot of radios, Wayne. But I am running a realistic TRC 441 Navaho.
Yeah. Well, Wayne's got a bunch of radios. Just think of how many he left behind.
I know.
I left about 20 of them behind.
We're going to say what we're running. I'm running a ICOM R70 receiver.
There you go. That's a good radio.
think it fell off a roof one time when I was working on something.
It still works.
Well, that speaks volumes for its quality.
It's the pseudo-military look, you know. You got the deep, dark, little bit of green going on, and you know, we're trying to make it look like mil-spec stuff, but it's not.
Yeah, and we know what the transmitter is. At least I do. Same one you were using on the longer wavelengths.
Yeah, nobody cares about that. As long as they can hear you.
That's all that matters.
I will say the 31 band EQ looks real pretty sitting on top of that DIY. It's the same size, amazingly enough, so it really looks symmetrical.
Yeah, it's all 19-inch rack mount. That's a standard.
Well, not just the width, but the height.
The SX28 is the same standard.
It'll really look cool with that DSP unit stacked on there, too.
DSP? Oh, no.
I can't even see it from here. I don't want to see it.
Look up Behringer DSP 9024. That's my next piece of gear to acquire.
Yeah? What does that do for you?
I'll throw that one to very weak.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you put that ugly word digital in there, I get skeeved because, you know, I live in an analog world.
You know what? Every source and destination is analog. You're absolutely right. But you can A to D, and then you can manipulate stuff in the digital realm and go back D to A. And if you do it quickly enough, it's not really annoying, and you can do things that you can't do in the analog world. Trust me, Dave, when I'm telling you. I really like analog stuff and old stuff and tubes and smell the dust on the tubes and all, but I like my digital processor. I can't help it.
So
I know. You know, once you get things into ones and zeros, you can start, taking ones here and zeros there, and you know, you can do all kinds of stuff. But I don't know. You gotta have a really super high sampling rate where you start to hear digital artifacts in the audio, and I don't know, maybe my ears are trained that way or whatever, but I always call it the shattered glass effect, you know, and it's like, it's unnerving. I can't listen to satellite radio for that long because I hear it always in the background.
Because they think everybody is friggin' deaf. Serious. They put oral excitation on the music. It's horrible. It sucks. You're right, but that's not what I'm talking about here.
Yeah, I know. I'm just one of these crusty old farts that doesn't want to change with the times.
well, Sandbagger, we'll let your ears decide when it's all set up and running, and I'm pumping that into the Barker and Williamson.
Oh, I know. It'll probably sound pretty darn good. As long as it doesn't squeal or hum or buzz or anything like that.
Anyway, I like my digital processor, damn it. I'm running one now. The transmitter is, it's a little bit dicey, but anyway, you can still hear it.
I'm taking lessons from a guy who's been down this road, and I hear the results that he gets. So I'm hoping I get similar results, and we'll see what happens. And at some point, you'll be able to hear it with your own ears.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to go out and do something like that, too, and shove it into my Hi-Fi Washington. I just need a good studio microphone and, and a nice shock-absorbing boom, and, I can be on the mic like a DJ and say, oh, now look at you, man.
Well, you're listening to Dave now with all his processing of the gear that I'm planning on acquiring. That's what he's using now. And I'm pretty sure you don't hear any ones and zeros in there. But all that aside, going down this road has my mind spinning because he's opened up my mind to ideas that I never considered. So I don't know if I should let this cat out of the bag or not, but I got a piece of gear over here that I think is excellently suitable for playing in that sandbox on the 11-meter radio band.
Believe me, I've been down all that, pondering roads. My limitations have been two things. Number one is time, and number two, and more importantly, is lack thereof of money. I can't be dumping lots of money into this stuff. I have to Mickey Mouse everything, like when I built the Washington. I wanted hi-fi, so I built it that way. That's the only way. I could have done it better? Yeah, probably, but it would have cost a hell of a lot more.
If you spend money on this crap, you have lost. No. Short bucks.
Well, as a first experiment down that road on this band, I'm going to try and externally modulate my TRC 24C.
Externally modulated? Uh-oh.
That's right.
TRC 24C. Is that like a predecessor to the TRC 30?
It's actually the mobile version of it.
Oh, all right, so you got the 2SC 7 something final.
Yeah, it's got that. What is it? A 2SC. What is that? 739 or something? I forget.
Yeah, it's like a top hat with lots of aluminum. Yeah, that's a good choice because the way that final modulates is perfect. It really is a square law mixer. So you put some good audio superimposed on the driver and the final of that, you will have perfect modulation, Pete. And then you have to be careful what you say on the air.
Well, that'll be my guinea pig radio to get familiar with this approach.
Yeah, I assume you're going to bypass the modulator transformer because that won't cut it for high fidelity. There's just not enough iron in it. But if you're just going to go and substitute the collector feed for the driver and the final with something totally external, then yeah, that'll be fun.
Exactly.
Yes, I'm learning, starting to understand, and once Frankenstein's monster is built and successful, well, that won't be the only monster.
Yeah, that was kind of my thinking when I built the Washington up because, solid state modulators, don't care about iron. And that Washington goes all the way down to 20 hertz. And it starts to roll off a little bit, but it's flat pretty much from 60 to about 10,000.
Which is exactly what you want.
Yeah, but who's got 10,000 hertz in their voice?
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, and I think it probably would go further. I mean, I just turned the audio signal generator up so far, and I'm like, I don't even know. Maybe it'll go further, but who cares? You don't need to go that high. You don't really need to go above 4,000 or 5,000. As long as you got the 60 to 4,000, you're probably good.
20 kilohertz. You want 100 kilohertz response in the hardware. That was a standard back then.
507. You might as well repeat the beginning of that because you lost the double. Not by much. I knew you were there, but you still lost.
Yikes.
Anyway, this does open up all kinds of different ground for noodling around. So we were discussing on 80 meters, like the first after the DYY is externally modulated, the next radio would be the AF67, because Dave says that's like made to do external modulation. So as you know, or may remember, I have two of those 67s, and one of them has no problem making modulation, and the other one was like you have to crank the mic gain all the way up to have reasonable modulation. So I'll take the one that's reasonable modulation that I don't use, and that'll be my test bed for external modulation.
Yeah, well, see, there's a big difference between the CB one and this because of the voltage involved. You're talking hundreds of volts versus 12 volts. So you're going to have to, interface it however practical you need to do it.
Well, the solid state one is going to be different equipment, different approach than the tuber. But Dave said, was it 507 just a matter of transformer, right? Use a stereo for modulating, and then it's just a transformer, right?
Yeah, what you do is you get yourself a toroidal transformer, garden variety, about a 27-to-1, and you can take your 4 or 8 ohm audio source. So assume you're going to use a large audio amplifier like, your favorite Sansui or Kenwood or Fisher stereo, makes decent power in 8 or 4 ohms. So you jam your stuff through that. The other end, 27-to-1 of toroidal transformer, which is really a power transformer, but the leakage reactance is so low through those because of the core material that they will pass audio way up there, all the way up to way above where you really have to worry about it. Anyway, you slam that sucker in there for a mod transformer, and you're golden. And guess what? You're listening to that right now.
Solid state audio into glowing glass transmitter, right?
Yes, I am using a solid state outdoor power audio amplifier at 4 ohms out, and it's going to some Antec transformers, and that is in series with the plate voltage to my 4-400 right now.
Oh, man.
It opens up all kinds of possibilities in the mind, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, shockingly.
Well, try to keep the shocks out of it.
It's shockingly if you touch it, yes.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
There was nothing in 507 Shack that I was going to put my fingers on.
There's nothing like taking a grown man for a walk in your shack and having him only walk down the middle. And I'm gonna walk. I'm not touching it. I'm gonna walk right down the middle.
I was walking around like military parade rest, my hands firmly locked behind my back. But I was looking at everything, but I wasn't gonna touch nothing.
And you're still alive.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Pete, did you bring that beautiful piece of equipment with you?
I got that beautiful piece of equipment sitting right here in front of me. In fact, I purposely set up tonight's station in Video Gate so that sucker's in the frame.
Is it really?
Yeah, I'm not using it, but you can see it. I was using it yesterday, just listening to some, broadcast AM. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I think I'll get demerits if I describe how good it sounds. So I'll just leave it at that.
Roger. Yeah, man. Hello out there, guys. Train signing on Classic Radio Roundup.
I even made a little recording of Green Dragon and Sandbagger talking on sideband. I think it's quite drifty on sideband, but still sounded pretty good, driftiness aside. On AM, the thing is golden.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering if you would run that thing tonight, and then I would have put the Washington on.
I really didn't have enough time to get fooling around for that. I have it hooked up to the Heath kit in case I was going to use it tonight, but conditions were too terrible to use it tonight with the Heath kit. So maybe I'll pair it up with the B&W or something for next week.
Yeah. But I know when you run, some of your other broadband receivers, that's why I want to run the hi-fi. Because actually, that's the one real bummer about running hi-fi transmit. Most of these people are running these bandwidth limited CB radios, and it doesn't sound any different really. The receiver's chopping out all that wonderful low end and all that high, crisp high end, and it just sounds maybe a little better than a normal stock radio, but it's only a fraction of what it could be.
Well, the speaker is like, I don't know, what is it, a 10-inch speaker there, 507? It's at least a 10-inch speaker with a heavy magnet and a big old box. And I was listening to AM broadcast on a thing. I'm like, oh my God, I never heard AM radio sound this good, just about. It really sounded good. So all right, we'll make it a plan that next week I'll use that for a receiver with the B&W, and you can run your hi-fi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you get that pre-selector going, you could use it right here. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, that's the plan. And I didn't hook up the pre-selector you gave me because I don't have the power cord for it. So I got my pre-selector in line. I was using that. And that's how I was able to hear Dave fairly well on sideband with it up here.
Yeah. trying to listen to somebody on sideband on 27 megahertz on a 1930 7.8 design receiver is, that's good fun.
Oh, you got to keep your hand on the BFO. You just got to keep your hand on the BFO. That's all there is to it. Because there's no stability there.
That's like my Browning receiver. The BFO on that thing drifts all over the place.
Well, it gives you something to, keep your attention. Constantly tune. Ain't nothing wrong with it. You just tune and tune and tune and tune all day long.
507, when that thing is on broad IF selectivity, what is the bandwidth on that?
I don't know. It's very wide. It's wide enough that you can listen to your friends, and your enemies on the next frequency up and down will give you a lot of problems.
So it's probably 9 or 10 kilohertz wide at least then?
I don't know. I have no idea. Because you cannot quantify 9 or 10 kilohertz. There's a shape to it. So when you talk about bandwidth, that's how you disqualify somebody who's talking about bandwidth. When you say, I'm 9 kilohertz wide. No, nothing is 9 kilohertz wide. It has a shape factor. If you look at the response on a graph, it's not absolute.
No, I get that. I'm more using that for reference. I get that it's, sloped on the sides. It's not like vertical sides. It's not arbitrary, but it's sloped. I understand that.
Yeah, so the proper way to describe that is at how many dB down out from the quote-unquote carrier frequency, which is a reference if you're using sideband. Unfortunately, in hobby radio, that is lost.
I fully get what you're saying, and I've seen the graphs and all that. I understand. You know, it's not brick walls on either side. It's a slope. So there's a shape to it. That I understand. And that is a better description. It's X wide at so many dB down.
Yep, I think you have the concept.
Yeah, nothing can be totally flat. Like the Washington, like I say, it's fairly flat between 60 hertz and 5K or 10K. But it does roll off after that. If I go down to 60 hertz and then it starts to roll off, and it's probably about 3 dB down by the time I get to 40 hertz and you know, a little bit more by the time I get to 20.
Well, if you're doing something like that on the low frequencies, that's really hard to make it work, Dave, as you know. But if you're on the air with something with that kind of response, then you need decent shape of the audio that you're piping into it. It'll sound like...
Well, yeah, that's where the EQ has to come in.
But you know all this stuff. You've been around the block.
Oh, yeah. But see, the other thing that's tricky though is that the microphone preamp in the radio has internal limiting on it, and it tends to respond differently depending on what frequency you're talking about. So, you know, yeah, you got to keep that in mind too.
Cheesy compression, yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It acts like a compressor.
All the 40 channel, you remember when the 40 channel radios came out? Every single one of them had 90% positive, and they sounded like anemic. Like, what's wrong with this? You can hear people's voices, how they really sound, because they're not all fuzzy, but they're not getting out really well.
Well, yeah. You know, the problem is that the modulation limiting circuit can't respond fast enough. By the time it detects a modulation in excess of 100%, it's already going out, and then it shuts the barn door if the horse is gone, you know. So what they had to do is back the limiters down to like 85%, so that the escapes to over 100 weren't going to happen.
The DSP 924 is forward-looking and responds accordingly. So it's forward-looking limiting.
Well, you can do that with a delay line, you know, an audio delay line. But yeah, it's way beyond the cost factor of a cheap CB radio.
Oh, I get that. But that's the road that I'm going down. Listen to me. I'm understanding crap.
So I would assume that it's better to not have the limiters in there at all.
No, because then you'll square wave if you overmodulate, and then you splatter.
You couldn't just turn down the volume on the microphone itself, or on the front of the radio.
Yes, you could, but you would have reduced signal to noise ratio.
And you would have reduced average modulation. See, that's where the limiter kind of is your friend. You can do what some people like to call riding the limiter, where you have extra microphone gain, and the limiter keeps you from going over the limit, so your average modulation is actually higher.
So will that cause it to compress?
Yes, it's all compression.
Compression is your friend.
Yes, compression is not bad if it's done properly.
Yeah, I know, because too much compressing, you lose your dynamics.
Yeah, your dynamic range is in the toilet, but for communications, that you don't need dynamic range. Dynamic range is good for music. You want that for music, but not for talking.
So do you guys have a high noise level tonight?
Yeah, I do.
No, I do not.
No, quiet here.
Yeah, I got noise. I got noise sound like a motor.
I think there's a breaker.
Yeah, I got an S5 and it sounds like a motor. If there's a breaker, let him go. I didn't hear him. I'm looking for a long distance radio check. Hello?
Who wants the long distance radio check? Is that 61? Is that you, Panty Snatcher? All right, I got you in there. I thought I heard you jumping up and down. I opened the door for you. Good evening there, Panty Snatcher. Hope all is well on your end. Take care, my son-in-law. Your father-in-law, 441, the Spitfire. 10-4 on the Palmerton, Pennsylvania. The static crashes are in there, made it a little rough, but I still got everything that came out of your transmitter. Take care, 64. Till the next time around, Countywide Radio, 441. All right, he's clear.
Yeah, I had no copy on him. Like I said, I got an S5 static level for whatever reason, which is down from what I had a little earlier. I was like a S7.5. It was a different mess tonight.
I guess you didn't have a chance to look for us on 7580 then?
The what?
I guess you didn't have a chance to look for us on 80 meters because we were discussing to go up 10 or down 10K at your request, but it really didn't matter. It was so stinking noisy. We had trouble hearing each other anyway.
I don't get in here until about, a couple of minutes before 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I got like a 4 of noise tonight. It sounds like somebody running some kind of motor in the distance.
I've got 20 dB worth of preamp on, and my S meter is sitting at 2.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing good.
Yeah, rub it in. Go ahead.
20 dB worth of preamp gives Sandbagger a 10 over, gives Night Train a 20 over, and 507 is about an 8.5.
I was looking at the video gate from last week, and I was watching the meter, and I didn't notice it fluctuating around too much. Is your antenna settling down again?
No.
Huh. Yeah, I was looking at the people, and the signals were pretty much staying pretty steady.
I think it was less noticeable on the Shakespeare for whatever reason. It was doing it, but it was less noticeable. It's doing it tonight on this radio, but the interval is not as often as it has been. So it's more good than it's not for whatever reason. I don't know what that means.
It's fixing itself slowly.
It's almost, you could say that.
I've got lightning.
Yeah, I got lightning now, but it's not as bad as the lightning was an hour ago.
Yeah, it's not covering anybody up, but I got plenty of lightning headed your way.
Is that you, Skippy?
Yeah, hello, Skippy. Yeah, now I just noticed it on Skippy. Like, he started out at an S7. My receiver went down to S5. Now, a couple seconds later, went back up to S7 and stayed there. So it's still doing its thing.
Yeah, your signal's holding solid on my end.
No, it's not. It shouldn't. It's my antenna is doing a weird thing. I don't know what's going on. It doesn't affect my transmit. It just affects my receive. Every once in a while, I lose an S unit or two off of people, and it comes back. But it doesn't affect my transmit. Doesn't show up on my SWR meter, power meter, nothing. So I don't know. So I'm not worried about it until it either completely fixes itself or completely dies.
I think it'll fix itself. itself over time. I think the more you work on it, I think it'll get better. But I don't know, I'm just
Yeah, I don't know. It's been going on for it's been going on for a few months now, so I don't know if it's ever going to fix itself. But I never lose anybody, even the weakest guys. You know, if you're giving me an S1 or S2 and it drops down, I still hear them. So that's why I haven't really bothered to do anything about it, because I still hear everybody.
Guy's got a breaker in there.
If there's a breaker, you got it. Go, break.
Go ahead, breaker. Roger. Well, I'm about 5 miles from the Maryland, Delaware, PA juncture. Roger.
I'm going to deal with break 1-3. This one's actually for real, though. What's going on, guys?
Stand by, break. There's conversation going on.
Yeah, okay, because there's a bunch of guys in there. I know they're not hearing you. Somebody else might be hearing you. Congratulations on making yourself an antenna. Not a wire. That's great. You're doing fine here.
Oh, that explains why I can't hear him.
Yeah, I hear him, but I can't really tell what he's saying, so he must be closer to Dave.
I hear him. I think that's Shadow Rick.
Yeah, that'd be the Freebird breaking on in there. That for real break.
Hold on, Freebird.
What's going on? How you guys doing?
Yeah, hang on. There's a distant station in there.
I'm talking in here, but I hear you. Good stuff. You got 5/7 here. Let me shut up. And hello, Parksburg. Did I catch your handle? But you got Skippy in here. I'm going to step to the side and let the other guys talk to you.
That station out there, Parksburg, is that you, Shadow? Shadow, is that you? Night Train wants to know. The 5/7, see if that's Shadow Rick. Ask him, is he Shadow?
Hey, Night Train wants to know, are you Shadow Rick? I got nothing.
Yeah, it looks like he's gone. All right, we got a breaker down on this end down there. 5/7. Freebird is in there. Go ahead there, Freebird.
Man, what's happening? It didn't sound like the breaker was getting back in touch, so I just kind of jumped on in there.
Been a long time, Freebird. Night Train with the wave.
Yeah, I've been busy with something or another and that and this, you know.
Top of the evening there, Freebird. Yeah, there was a distant station in there we were trying to, you know, make contact with. So didn't mean to put you on hold, but had to put you on hold until that was done.
Yep, that's fine. I just turned it on maybe about 10, 15 minutes ago, and I heard a couple of breakers try to jump in there, and you guys try to respond, and there's absolutely nothing. So, but yeah, well, yep, I'll leave it be if you want to get in touch with them or whatever. So.
Well, I think that's all done and over with for the moment. Anyway, we do try to keep our ears open for the distant stations, but otherwise we just carry on. So welcome to the roundup, Freebird. 441 to Spitfire.
Hello, Freebird. Skippy at Morgantown. Night Train, it did sound just like Shadow, but I didn't catch his handle and I asked him.
What's up, Skippy? How are you?
I'm pretty good. About yourself?
Yeah, doing all right. I'm not going to complain.
I've just been here on my classic radio, one of the oldest radios I own.
Yeah, it's the first time in a while for a Wednesday classic radio roundup. I actually sat down here and turned them.
turned it on, and that's right, it's that night. Oh, he's too busy with something or another. Yeah. I got you. This one's so old it squeaks when you key up. But I'll let the other guys get back to you. And hello, everybody. I didn't get to say hello to everybody.
I think I'm on one of my newest CB radios. I think this is one of my newest. Not sure if I got one newer than this or not currently. My TRC 441.
New as in data manufacturer, or new as in new to you?
New as in data manufacturer.
Yeah, it's one of the newer ones. Because I think my TRC 451 is probably my newest classic. The newest radio I have is that Galaxy 2547, but I don't consider that a classic. But yeah, you know, that early 80s thing, you know.
Well, like it's a toss up between which one's the newest, and I have to say, it's a fight between this and the Shakespeare 740 as being the newest, and then the one that falls in behind that is probably that Courier Centurion.
Yeah, I think the Courier Centurion, well, the one that's not digital, that one is a 77 version, and I guess the other one might be 78.
Right. And the TRC 441, I bought one new in 1981. So maybe it was, you know, available a year or two either side of that. And then the Shakespeare, I think they were made up until from 80 to 83. So I don't know which one's newer.
Yeah, well, I could tell you probably when the 441 was out, but I believe that was an early 80s version, like an 80, 81 time frame.
Yeah, that's what I just said. I was a junior in high school when I bought it with money I made at working at Bergey's Tire Warehouse. It was my very first, not this one. We know the story behind my original 441. We won't go down that road, but I bought a Navaho 441. It was my first. I bought it myself, plug it in the wall CB radio. And I bought it in 1981, brand new, from Radio Shack.
Yeah, that's about the same time frame as my TRC 451. That was probably 80, 81 as well.
And research on the Shakespeare, they made those from 80 to 83, but I don't know its exact year. So, you know, it could be either one is newer. They're probably the same age. I don't know.
I would think the Shakespeare should be out right when the 40 channels came out, 78 or 79, or well, 77, 78. And, you know, maybe they went on to 83.
I'm not saying you're wrong. Just from what I remember doing research on it, 80 to 83 is in my head. Maybe I got that mixed up with something else, but for some reason, 80 to 83 is in my head.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense that they would not be producing between, you know, the 23 channel version and they wait 3 years before they start making the 40 channel version.
Well, I'm not that Panasonic chassis had been throughout, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Shakespeare decided to put their version out at that time.
Yeah, I guess, but they must have taken a hiatus because you couldn't sell a 23 channel legally brand new anymore after 70. It was sometime in 78. I think it was mid 78. They completely outlawed them. So between that time and 80, they were producing nothing, I guess.
Well, I don't know if you're aware, but you probably are. But Shakespeare didn't badge any of those Panasonic radios that were 23 channel.
They didn't? I thought they had a 23 channel version. Oh, maybe not. There's so many Panasonic chassis radios out there that it's hard to keep track of all the different brands.
Oh, and there's a crap load of those Panasonic chassis badged radios. You know, if you include the 23 plus the 40s, but even just the plain 40 Panasonic chassis, there's at least a dozen different badged ones with varying, you know, styles and features, but all based on the same chassis.
Yeah, well, there were fewer 40 channels than there were 23s because a lot of companies bailed out. They said, yeah, they saw the writing on the wall. There were a lot more 23s, but like for instance, Lafayette, you know, by all intents and purposes, I would have thought the Comstat 35 should have been a 40 channel, but it wasn't. But they never made a 40 channel after that. In a tube chassis, all their 40 channels were solid state Cybernet radios. But yeah, my buddy Mitch has been doing research on Panasonic chassis stuff, and he's learned a lot more than even I know about them. Interesting stuff, all the different brands that put their name on that particular design.
Yeah, there's like quite a few. And then there's a bunch of them that you know were badged 23s and carried on into the 40s. But then there was some that were badged 23s and never made it to the 40s. And then there's some of the 40s that never were badged as 23s. Like come to the top of my head, like the Gemtronics, you know, the GTX 3000 and 5000, the Robin 123 and the 240. You know, those are ones that carried through. But like the Colt, the Shakespeare, God, I'm drawing a blank. But I know the Colt and the Shakespeare were 40s only. They were never 23 channel badged ones.
Yeah, well, I know Colt was a relatively late entry into the radio scene. I'm trying to think if there were any Colt 23s. There may have been a few, but most of their radios were 40s.
Yeah, the little Colt was a 40 channel. It's really collectible.
The Colt 40 channel Panasonic chassis is the only one that I found that nearly resembles the Shakespeare 740. They're the closest cousins, if you will.
Breaker?
Tell Roger you got a break, Pete.
Go, break.
Yeah, everybody. Mr. K out here. How you guys doing?
Hello there, Special K, Mr. K. Top of the evening. Classic Radio Roundup.
Roger. How you guys doing this evening?
Good evening there, Mr. K. Night Train with the wave.
Evening to you, Night Train. Glad to hear you out there, buddy. Sorry I don't get on the radio much anymore.
Yeah, we kind of lost you last week, man. You came in here for a little bit and disappeared as quickly as you came. We felt bad.
Nah, man. I just get tired, dude. You gotta get to bed, get some sleep. Long hours.
10 rides running long hours. Well, be glad for the long hours. Things are slow for me on this side. 10-4.
Oh, dude, man. I'm so busy I can't even get out of the way.
Roger that.
But like you say, it slows down too.
Yeah, you gotta make hay while the sun is shining.
Yeah, true that, my friend. All right, gentlemen, I just popped in here to say hi, see how you all doing.
Oh, I'm doing great whenever it's Classic Radio Wednesday and my radios work and my friends are here to play with.
That's right.
Mr. K, what you running tonight, man?
I'm still running the 95, come on.
All by yourself, or you got something in there with it?
Oh, it's just bare 95, just the way it is.
Tell Roger, how we sound coming over there?
Oh, you sound good from Pottstown.
10-4.
Night Train, you always sounding good over here. Always.
Well, I try, but some of that stuff fails me. This one right here is my TRS Challenger. I don't know who made it, I'll be honest with you. This is a classic radio.
Yeah, I know radios, but I don't know nothing about no classics. I'm 55 years old. I'm not that old.
Hey, Roger. Yeah, man, you sound young.
Yeah, he missed the best part of the heyday.
Yeah, Roger on that. I only started back in the 80s, and back then I met big time back in the 80s.
No, the 80s were kind of fun too. Just a little bit different.
Yeah, that's when I started growing up. I was born in the 70s, but the 80s when I started growing up and realized what was going on.
What year you graduated from high school?
89.
Oh, Roger that.
That's a date everybody remembers, Roger.
Why?
I don't know. It's just one of those things that you never forget.
Oh, you mean when you graduated from high school?
Yeah, what year you graduated from high school? You never forget that year.
Yeah, I was a 75 baby myself.
Oh, you was born in 75, or did you graduate in 75?
I graduated in 75.
God damn. Don't mean it that way, Trey Trent.
So were you born when I graduated, or what?
I was born in 1970. Come on.
Oh, all right. So you was 5. I was going down the aisle.
Those old metal Tonka trucks that used to cut you up all the time. That's what I grew up on.
Man, I admit, a Tonka truck, that thing is like indestructible, man. You know, I tore up most of my toys. But that little Tonka truck, it withstood the test of time. Do you know those things are collectible to this day?
Yes, sir. I have a few of them in my office.
Yeah, ain't nothing like it. That little Tonka trucks was the bee's knees. They were made out of real metal.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, and they have windows and wheels. You don't make them like that now.
I had the one with the little cement mixer. Red and white it was. And that little thing go around, you know, you turn that little thing and she mix. Because, you know, I ain't mixing no cement, but, you know, it was a nice little cement mixer. I still remember that thing. I should really have gotten one. But the people are getting ridiculous. And they want good money for those little collectible pieces.
Yeah, Roger. Now, I actually got 2 of the Tonka car carriers. One, I got a flatbed tow truck Tonka, a fire truck Tonka. I got all kinds of Tonkas.
Hey, Roger, you know, and it's funny. There's men that's collecting those Tonkas, man. They have them in their offices and places like that. You know, it's part of the decor in their dens and family rooms and things like that.
Yeah, Roger, I'm in my office, and I don't know if you ever saw pictures of it, but that's what my office is like. All collectible gadgets and gadgets. Come on.
Hey, Roger, well, if I had my office and it was big enough, bicycles would be in that rascal.
Yeah, right?
Yes, sir, collectible pieces.
Yeah, I got anything from old crank-up metal toys to cast iron toys to built lunch boxes or Red Eagle guns, and dude, I have everything.
That's all right, man. One day I was working for a guy. Well, actually, I went over there to do an estimate. And he had the biggest toy collection that I've ever seen. As far as, like, you know, he had it down in his basement. And that rascal had aisles. And everything was, like, categorized. So it was perfect. That guy must have had, like, $1 million worth of toys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it adds up real quick.
And the thing of it is, he had his stuff was new in box. You know what I mean? He had the original containers and so forth. And he had shelves and he had categories and he had aisles. So when you go down there, it was like a little museum.
Oh yeah, I like the NOS, man. I love NOS toys.
He had that little train with the conductor. That little train with the conductor that bob his head. And it goes. that little conductor, he bob his head back and forth. You know, he'd be sitting up there. He had those too.
Yeah, I think the oldest train I had was from the 40s. It's called the Union Pacific M10000. It's called.
Roger that. So you are a collector.
Oh yeah, I even got the Commodore Vanderbilt train, all O scale. Yeah, I got all kinds of stuff.
That's nice. Now, do you take time to keep them clean, or are they under glass?
Oh no, they're kept clean and dusted off from time to time.
That's nice. Ain't nothing like perfection well kept. That's the lights.
That's what keeps them valuable, man. The longer you keep them, the longer they last, the more they cost.
Yeah, boy, you ain't got to worry about capacitors drying out.
More batteries explode because they're all cranked up with a little key. Come on.
10-4. Well, just about everything I had, I tore off. Except for the bicycle that I rode back in the 70s. I have that right here in the dining room, man. I watch it while I'm eating. 10-4.
Yeah, Roger, I think Rick got an old Raider bicycle, banana seat with the big rise high handlebars. I think he's trying to sell it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I wonder what he wants for it.
Oh, no, I saw it. It looks nice.
What color was it?
I believe it was like a royal metallic color to it.
Yeah, that's the blue one. Yeah, they go for good money. They are valuable. And if you go to work and restore them, it costs you a small fortune.
Yeah, right. This has a slick on the back, I think, with a 5-speed shifter on the center.
Yes, it did. Yeah, I know what it looked like. Yes, I do. The only thing I don't know whether it was a white seat or a blue seat with a stripe.
White seat with blue stripe.
There you are. Yeah, I'm familiar.
All right, man. We talk a lot. Let them other guys do some talking.
Well, it was time for you to get a little bit of airtime, man. So I appreciate you getting in there, man. Mr. K, Night Train, I'm quiet.
Yeah, Roger, on that. Y'all have a good night. We'll hear some Z's. Talk to you guys again soon. Yeah.
Channel's clear.
Breaker 1-3, breaker.
Go, Breaker.
It's Sam and Sam. Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? I heard Night Train talking about his bicycle.
Yeah, Sam, you know, I need to send you a picture of the one that I restored. Come on.
Well, you got my curiosity up. But what kind of bicycle is it?
Well, the latest one that I did was a Sears. It was a Sears Spider bike. That's the one with the banana seat, the butterfly handlebars, 5-speed, stick in the floor. You know, chrome fenders, white wall tires. It's beautiful. I sent it out to have all of the work done. So, as far as the paint and the decals. So, it means that it's museum. It's museum. 10-4.
Oh, that sounds really nice. Yeah, what color is it?
It's like an emerald green. And the decals are red, white, and little fine black details. The seat is black and white. Two-tone glitter on the top, black around the sides, and the handle grips are black glitter also.
Oh man, that sounds cool. Yeah, them old bikes are those things are so cool. So neat to have. You know, I remember when I was a kid, you know, we used to ride them things around. You know, all the old Schwinn's and stuff with the shifters.
Yeah, man. So this particular one I couldn't have reached it with a long pole when I was a little boy. I used to have to just drool over it in the catalog.
Well, at least you got it now, right?
Yeah, and I just look at it, 10-4.
Well, you got to take her out and ride her around the block.
Well, I did get out there with the grandchildren in the cul-de-sac one night. We did circles, but they were so reckless. I was afraid they was going to crash into me and scratch it.
That's funny.
And it's in showroom condition. I couldn't afford to have them, and they're chasing Grandpa, Papa. They're racing me and everything, but they're reckless. They'll crash into you. You gotta watch them.
Well, I guess e-bikes are out of the question for them.
Well, it's a racetrack.
Yeah, they little.
Good evening, y'all. That's JR.
Oh, JR.
How you doing, Dave? Mr. Pete? And I heard training there, too. Whoever else is going on. Is that a little bit of lightning static I hear in there?
Yeah, you got a lot of it.
Not as much as there was an hour and a half ago.
Yeah, I was listening to, I was watching it out the window an hour ago. And it was going on, but I thought it calmed down, but I guess not enough. But I haven't seen any white windows lately, so must be okay. Especially if you guys are all in here. Shit, might as well walking in the field collecting raspberries. Yeah, but I understand you.
Holding my metal microphone out the window.
Riding that D104, huh?
Yes, sir. All sheet metal radio with mains voltage.
Yeah. Now I'm transmitting and my antenna's in a tree, so if my tree gets hit, it's all going to go bad, but I don't care.
Good evening, Skippy. Yeah, I know you don't care. You don't care. You have no, I don't think you have no feeling.
I don't have any fear either.
I figure right about now, you probably don't have no feeling more than fear.
I have less feeling than I do fear, yeah.
Very good evening, JR.
Light train. Skyrider.
Yeah, and I'm even hooked up to a 265-foot long antenna listening to an 80-year-old receiver at the same time as I'm doing this.
Man, you're multitasking. Well, that's all right. That's good. Good practice for the future.
I only have this 80-year-old receiver for a time since it's not mine. So I'm going to enjoy it while it's in my possession.
Oh, okay. Is this part of the trains setup that's going to be?
I have the train station right here, all paired up together in operational condition. Train station. Ah, I like that.
Train station. Operational. Is it finished, though? Even though it's operational, is it finished?
I got a couple little things to square away and tighten up on the transmitter. There's driver issues that I need to work out. It works fine on the low bands, but not on the high bands. And actually, I think I got a couple of weak tubes yet. I gotta. It's usable, but it's not up to train's standards yet. But it will be by the time he gets it. Yes, the receiver, it's golden. It's good to go. It's a shame that he decided he wanted it, because now that I've seen it, if he didn't buy it, I know I would have.
Train, I think he's trying to make you feel a little guilty there.
No, I don't feel guilty at all, man. I dropped a pretty penny so far, and everything is in Pete's possession. He's having fun over there.
I'm having fun on Train's dime.
Oh, man. Choo-choo Pete on the train station.
Isn't that how it's supposed to be, though? You're supposed to have fun on somebody else's dime. That makes it more fun.
Oh yeah, for as long as I can. So, well, I look at it as compensation for my time, effort, and labor. So that's all. It all works out in the end, right? I get to play with it, but I get it squared away. So when he gets it, it's ready to go.
So just so you know, Pete, it's ready for to come over as far as the little barn goes where it's supposed to reside. I just don't know how strong the table needs to be to put it on, whether to go on my little stand or not. But we got electricity up there, and she's ready. She's ready, Pete.
Well, all right. That brings up a couple of things. I need to move forward and figure out this driver tube issue. Or see, I'm not sure if it's the driver, the buffer, or the VFO tube. And maybe I should just go and replace all three. You can tell me which way you want to go with that. Should I try and figure it out, or just shotgun it and replace all three? So you can let me know there. That'd make it easier if I just shotgunned all three. But anyway, that's where 507 says the remaining issue is. It's otherwise ready to go. The other thing is, I think Sandbagger and I were discussing this the other morning. So if you get on top of the table and jump up and down, and that table does not collapse or flex, then it will handle all 170 pounds worth of radio here.
Yeah, it's a heavy metal station.
I want to watch him test the table.
Well, I could build the table. I could build a little table. I could do a workshop table.
Well, the table needs to hold every bit of 170 pounds worth of radio. And the table needs to be a minimum of, let's just round it off and call it 40 inches. So your table needs to be 40 inches wide and a minimum of 15 inches deep. And that's not including the speaker.
So, yeah, I could probably do a 4 foot by 2 foot, like a little workshop table, and put one little shelf on the bottom and 2 planks on the top.
I got an antenna basically built for you. You need to supply coax, but I left the antenna extra long so we can figure out where it's going to hang it, check it with the VNA, and trim the suit. So before all that happens, I think you should come over here and we can hold a little training session on the operation of this equipment before we set it up over there. But of course, I'll help you set it up over there, and we'll do the same thing. And 507 also offered that once the receiver stops moving around and is sitting in place, he will come and align it and make sure it's at its peak performance.
Yeah, because, that place is empty up there, and we could set it up. We could do everything up there. Now you have full privacy. The thing is up in the back right-hand corner of the yard, all the way up at the top in the corner.
All right, so I think in steps here, you should probably come over here first, have a little training session, and then we'll move everything over to your place, set up the antenna, trim the antenna, and 507 will come and align the receiver so it's at its maximum. Because apparently moving this thing around will change its tuning. So, but I do want to finish squaring away this transmitter. It's just about there. and I think I'll just get them tubes. They're not that expensive. It's going like $25 for the 3 tubes. So unless you have 12 BY7 is the one. I can't remember the other two. One of them's a number, and if 507's in here, he probably knows right off the top of his head.
You still there, Dave?
He kind of ducked out. I haven't heard from him for a while.
507, you still there?
Well, yeah, I would say go with the shotgun, because that's what I would have done.
All right. So it's not that much more money. It's like $25 for the 3 tubes. So I'll just get them instead of fooling around trying to figure out which one it is. I'll just get all 3, and then that'll solve the problem. Pretty certain.
10-4. Yeah, and yeah, it's time to get that antenna up there, and you can let me know. If you wanted to come over and scout it out and find out what we're gonna need, you're welcome to do that as well.
Well, what's this upcoming Monday look like for you? Because we can always do the antenna at any time.
I'm off this upcoming Monday.
All right. Well, I got your number. I'll give you a ring Monday morning then sometime, 9-10 o'clock time frame, something like that.
Yeah, closer to 10 is better for me. I'm not no early riser.
All right. Well, that's good. I'm an early riser, but that'll give me time to play with dogs and stuff. So, all right. So Monday's a game then. We'll get that antenna up and running, and then once the gear's all squared away, it's just a matter of moving it over.
Roger. All right, so let's talk Monday morning.
Roger. 10-4. Copy.
And that's recorded on Classic Radio Roundup. So all you Classic Radio Roundup fans out there, y'all heard it.
Oh, yeah. And you can look back in 10 years to remember the date that your tube station was coming together and getting ready to come home.
Oh, no.
Maybe we can get OJR over here to help carry them things up the steps.
Well, the receiver's not so bad. That transmitter wants to give me a hernia, though.
I do have a hand truck, man, and we could do some blankets. I got one of them little, you can go bump up the steps as long as it don't come off of there.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm comfortable with that, jarring it around, even if it's on blankets. I think I'll just risk busting a gut carrying it up out of here, because I know I can carry it. I just need to take my time.
Oh, man. You know what you need? You need one of those belt apparatuses these guys carry washers and refrigerators with. They put them around their waist, and they pick it up, just with their body. You ever see them?
Yes, I have. I know what you're talking about. And yeah, I think that would work too.
That was a double, but yeah, they do. I seen them, man. It's like, matter of fact, the washer, they put the washer in there. One guy. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That would probably work.
Yeah, I don't glory in him, I'll tell you that. They had them belts around their waist, man. Boy, they be getting off of those trucks and everything. I like them. I'd rather hang wallpaper.
Yeah, I hear you.
I think I'd rather operate boilers.
I think I'd rather work on radios.
10-4.
Speaking of working on radios, when's the Sandbagger radio repair service start?
I don't know. I thought my pickup and delivery was going to go moving west on me.
Well, he hasn't moved yet, so I'll play the Shamrock role until that happens. It hasn't happened yet.
Well, Bagger, I got a piece for you to work on if you really want to play radio, man.
Well, it's getting closer to that. I mean, the job market is not been very friendly to what I'm looking for, and at some point I'm going to have to decide whether I'm going to just say retire and then for extra money, it'll be perfect for me to do this stuff again. But I haven't quite got to that point yet. Maybe another month or so.
Well, my 2 couriers are first in line.
Pete, I called it. JR, did you hear that? Didn't I say it first?
Oh, I called it weeks and months ago. As soon as I found out that things were changing in his status, I like, my couriers need fixing.
I don't want to get involved in domestic problems. Got a couple of classics that I need working properly.
There you go. They're already lining up there, Bagger.
Yeah, I know. Green's got an interesting problem. He's got that CR123, and it doesn't work on lower side. I think he's got a bad carrier oscillator crystal. It's a 7.8 something.
Hey, Dave. I don't know why my radio is doing this tonight. Hey, Dave. I don't know if you can hear it, but yeah, the Cobra 2000 and my little Cobra Dynascan 85.
They got problems too? Jesus.
Yeah, they're lining up, Dave, and I think Robbie's calling you.
Hey, Dave, I know you do good work. I would pay you too.
Look at that, Dave. There's already 6 months worth of work lined up for you.
Sounds a lot better on sideband.
6 months worth of work lined up for you already.
Yeah, I got a Skipper 73C that I want you to work on. I want you to make that baby work.
Good grief. Might not be able to find the parts for that.
Oh, it just needs to be rebuilt and, recapped or whatever. It has to be done. Yeah, you can make it work. If other people can make it work, you can make it work.
Yeah, I have a radio for Dave to fix too.
Yeah, there's Renegade. He's throwing into the queue. And I'll be more than happy to be the middleman for pickup and delivery.
Yeah, like I said, it's getting closer to that. And, I'll have to keep RF parts on speed dial.
Well, I got at least one of my couriers got to get in there first. I can hold off on the second one, but I need one of them working.
To have worked on, and we can't find people to work on this classic stuff like we used to. I'm sending things up to Greenville, Michigan, and sending stuff down to Marietta, Georgia, and sending stuff different places, and now it's like, it's hard, man. So we need somebody like you.
Local and someone we can trust. No damage in delivery and receiving and all that. Oh, there's so many benefits to that. But I need at least one of my couriers fixed.
I don't see why we can't get both of them fixed.
Well, I don't want to bum rush you, but yeah, I mean, those are the first 2. I got a couple others that could use, like my Pinto SSB. That needs fixing. I got to keep that because that was the father-in-law's radio. So that one, but that's less important. But dude, we'll keep you busy. There's plenty of people out here to keep you busy.
I got a Kenwood 450 for him to fix if he wants to do that. 1, 2, 3 all.
He's been in and out of there. He probably will be in there a little later tonight there, Freebird.
All right. Yeah, tell him to look me up if you hear from him, whatever. So.
Tell you, boy, yeah, he usually comes in a little late and he's doing his runs. And he starts jumping up and down out there, and we usually engage.
And by the way, hello, Green Dog.
Hello.
Skippy just giving you.
What's going on, Skippy? Hey, I'm waving right back.
Another Green Dog Night Train waving.
Mr. Train, tipping my hat to you.
Slam and Sambo, are you still there?
Yes, sir. I'm still here. I was just thinking I got some work for Sam Bagger too. If he could put me on a schedule.
Oh no!
Look at that. There's no lack of income available in the area.
I heard Sam Bagger's going union. Yeah, negotiations and so forth, contracts. Slam and Sam, I'll send you pictures.
Yeah, I
got him. I messaged you back. Yeah, that's a beautiful bike.
Well, if this is going on, everybody's going to find out where I live. Because the rules of engagement here are, yeah, I got to pick up and drop off at my place, and I get it over to him.
Unless I want to go out and pick it up, one way or the other.
Well, yeah, but there'll be no direct doorstop at your doorstop.
Yeah, I see it, because that's the one stick in the mud, because the queen of the house does not want unannounced visitors.
She don't want all of them CBers. JR know how they look.
Well, my wife don't mind. She's got an M1911 and knows how to use it.
You got a picture. That's what it is. Yeah, well, Bagger and I, we have a rendezvous place that we need to meet. It's not far from either of us.
Yeah, I can come right to your door. I know where you are.
Yeah, well, that's a different situation. Y'all can throw rocks at each other.
Hey, Pete.
Hey, what?
You would get day 2 of them right now to go over.
Sandbagger's going to have to make his driveway bigger.
Like all frequency.
Yeah, you're not sounding good there, Robbie. I don't know what you're doing, but it ain't sounding good.
Gotta turn that mic gain down, that radio.
Hey, what's wrong?
I think you got too much carrier on that ham rig.
Yeah, you can't be putting out 100 watts. No more than 25 or 30.
Hello out there, Bike Buster.
Yeah, about time. I've been hollering all night.
Oh, holy heck. It's first I heard you. Hello, Bike Buster. Countywide.
Is that any better?
I heard you, Bike Buster, between the trees, 10-4.
I think he's off frequency.
I backed the power down pretty good now.
Yeah, it still don't sound clear. You got a processor on or something?
All right, processor's off.
All right, that's better. Now turn your mic gain up.
Okay, what's that like?
You can give it more.
Okay, what's that like?
Now you're doing something.
Okay.
What is that rig?
That 440.
Kenwood?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it doesn't sound like doo-doo on AM, because it's a Kenwood. But yeah, it sounds all right now.
Yeah, if you put the speech processor on and back the carrier down to 25 or 30 watts, it should be okay.
Yeah, but he did that, and it sounded like doo-doo still. Turn the processor off, turn the gain up, it sounded better.
Really, that's interesting. Usually it sounds better with the processor on, but then again, you got to make sure that the processor levels and everything are set right.
Just turn all knobs to the right.
Oh, no!
No, that's channel 6 mentality, not channel 13.
Only if you're a down-getter.
Yeah, all knobs to the right for down-getters, but there's no down-getters on here. No wave handers, no mail readers, no got back downers.
99999.
Oh, well, there's always the exception.
Specifications are subject to change. Terms and conditions may apply.
99999.
All rights reserved. Tut, 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 tut. Oh, she said, that sounds so stupid.
Good grief.
She hear him out there go, audio, tut, 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 tut. Audio, tut, tut. She said, that sounds so stupid.
Does sound stupid. I agree with Mrs. Train.
You look at him.
Just look at him.
Who said that?
I'm not sure who actually said that. Who said that, JR?
I think you started that. Yeah, and I agree with you, because I had the same kind of thing going on over here. So, yeah. You started that, Jazz.
No, I got it from somebody. They had a picture of all the CBers lined up, they had a little meet and greet, they were all sizes and shapes and colors and everything. And somebody said, just look at them.
I guarantee they all had some burning metals on them now.
Take with a live person.
Little motley crew. Ain't nothing from Skyrider tonight. I wonder how he's doing.
I don't know. He's been AWOL for, about 4 days now.
Well, I know she's been suffering. I'm hoping everything is alright.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope so too. Yeah. I'll have to check in with him tomorrow.
So, Bike Buster, what's new up there, man?
Well, I was watching the news and I thought you guys were getting blown away down there.
Well, we got lightning strikes in the distance, but it's nothing close. I think what we already, I think it's over, unless there's another system coming in. I still hear crashes. Noise levels dropped over the past hour or so. 10-4.
I turn on any 3, 6, or 10 and they're carrying the weather. It's like, something's wrong.
Yeah. Man, I tell you what, we had something in our yard, man. There was tree limbs and even the sycamore tree. You dropped some of that paper, that paper bark. Paper bark was all over the place, man.
Well, we had a branch down, one branch, that's it, but we didn't have tornado warnings like I was watching on the news, man. And like I said, they're interrupting the regular program to whatever, and it's like, wow, what the hell?
Hey, Roger, my little beam up there had its first whipping, since it's been back up, and she stood the test of time. Tevor.
That's a good sign, man, because we did have some pretty fast straight line winds down there. I know that.
Yeah, it was nasty. But my wife said I slept right through it.
Well, that's not good, man. That's not good, because then you end up like those people in Texas.
Yeah, if you don't know what's going on, if you're sound asleep, next thing you know, you wake up, and it's too late.
Yeah, that definitely was a tragedy, man. Some people found like 15 miles downstream.
Yeah, they say that they're still searching for more bodies.
You're going to need a louder alarm clock. Something.
I wasn't trying to get up.
Gotta have one of those weather radios that goes off when there's an emergency.
Yeah, it seems like our phones would have did that little beep, beep, beep thing. I ain't hear nothing.
I got one of them yesterday. That was about it.
Did it work?
Yeah, well, you gotta put that in your pillow.
That's right.
Good evening, Joker.
Joker, Skippy's calling.
Sorry, Skippy, I can't pull you out. I heard you in there, but I didn't know who or what you're calling for.
You can tell him I was just acknowledging him, saying hello.
Yeah, he said hello, Joker, and I'll say hello too, and hello, Green Dog. I forgot about you, but yeah. Anyway, good evening to you too.
Evening time there, Joker.
Good evening. Yeah, long time no talk. I really haven't had a chance to be on the radio lately.
I know, you've been absent. Does Joker have to bring a note? Does Joker have to bring a note, y'all?
Well, after tonight, you guys probably won't hear me for about 12 more days.
Oh, wow. You going away, man?
Yep, going overseas for, it's going to be like 12 days, I guess, all considered.
Well, that part sounds nice as long as you don't go to the wrong place over there.
I guess depends on what you mean by the wrong place.
Well, there's hostile areas now.
Oh, good. If you say you're going on vacation, that's a little better. You know, going away is not the same word I was thinking of.
No, I'm going away on vacation. No, it's not a vacation. It's kind of a little bit of vacation, a little bit of work. Well, more work than vacation, but you know, it's a split trip.
Humor us.
Excuse me?
Humor us.
He would like some humor. She's on one island, he's on another. That's the only thing I got out of it.
You guys won't be in the same spot?
Vacation. Sounds like fun. Well, there's a few days of vacation in the beginning and a few days, well, 2 days in the beginning and 2 days at the end, and then the middle is all work. Well, that's not a vacation. That's a workcation. All right. So, yeah, I'm going on a workcation.
Well, that's all right as long as you get some cation out of it, 10-4.
10-4.
Vacation without the precipitation.
Well, you're a poet and don't know it. Dagger, my noise level went down.
Not mine.
I still got light.
Yeah, I got the lighting, but as far as those motors and engines and whatever that was, that's gone.
That's weird. You get that once in a while, too. I don't know. That is strange. But it's quiet over here. It's dead nuts quiet.
Yeah, I've got an S5 noise level. Sounds like just hash noise.
Yeah, pretty quiet over my way, too.
Maybe it's a drone.
10-4 on the drone.
Yeah, I guess I'm hearing a little bit of lightning static in the air.
So which operators are flying to next?
They are.
Yeah, Rob.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you fine. No worries.
I'm just not a big fan of AM.
It will kind of grow on you after a while.
Like a fungus.
Yeah, like a fungus.
Fungus among us.
Who is that, JR?
That's Rob over there in Trumbarrowsville.
Roger. Hello, Rob. Night train waving.
Hello. Trumbarrowsville. Home with the Trumbowers. Where you at? Yeah, the man once nicknamed by Gretchen Rubber Pants Robbie. Hey, that name will never die.
Oh, now I know.
Yeah, see? That's how everybody remembers.
Tell him Skippy says hello.
Skippy says hello, Rob.
Hello.
He said hello.
Yeah, I haven't heard him in like 15 years.
Get a lot of noise over here. Yeah, I'm gonna try a different radio. I don't know if maybe it's this radio's receiver, but I always thought this one was very sensitive. But maybe I can get one with less noise. We'll see here.
Long as there's a classic radio, don't come back with that Galaxy 2547.
Listen to you.
Hey, they fried me on radios that are older than that.
Rolls are the rolls. I'm tired of the old.
Me too.
You know what's a good talking radio? The 2570.
All right.
Yeah, they do all right. They're not too shabby.
47
Are you looking too shabby? I don't know. Oh my God, what was that? That sounded like a... Whew. Yeah, I think I'm gonna light up too high. I think something's going on there, but yeah. I like the way it would sound if it was normal. Yeah, okay. Let's make the microphone normal. There we go.
Did they reduce the noise level too?
Well, the meter says it's less noise. I just don't know if that's just a characteristic of the different meter or whether I'll have to see if I can hear people better. I don't know.
Is that your Washington?
Yeah, I put the D104 on it just because.
Doesn't sound like a D104. Isn't really super bright. It's nice and warm yet.
Well, yeah, I kind of turned the high end down a little bit so it wouldn't sound too bright. I don't want my mic being brighter than I am.
You still got a little rumbly going on there.
Rumblies in my tumblies. Oh no, I'll have to back the 150 down just a tad. That'll do it. Of course, if I was like Mr. Pete and had a 31 band EQ, I could sit here for days just moving levers up and down.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, that's really one. Too much time playing with levers. Spent 31 days and never touched the same band twice.
Yeah, and I'm not done building the audio rack.
I'm up to my radio and it's noisy out there. Good afternoon or good evening.
Yeah, there's Goose, and I heard my son-in-law jumping up and down again, too.
Yeah, buddy, he been a bad boy.
That ain't nothing new.
I'm only joking. But it sounded good.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
Oh, there, Goose, Train.
Bad boys and bad girls.
Sam Bagger. Hello there, Pete. Hello there, old JR. Hello there, Joker. And hello there, Panty Snatcher. I miss anybody?
I don't know if you called me or not. Somebody doubled with you.
Oh, yeah, I said hello there, Night Train. Yes, I did.
Man, they had a bunch of tree limbs fall in my yard, Goose, man. And I looked out the window. One of them looked like a big, gigantic snake crawling up the hill.
I guess you didn't pick that stick up, did you?
No, I didn't go out there yet. It stayed in the same spot, so I thought, oh, that's a tree limb.
You know, it's just his eyes playing tricks on him.
Uh-oh, I saw the lightning, y'all.
Yeah, I checked the radar, though. That system's just about out of here.
I got the same one. I don't care about lightning. Good.
You will if you get hit by it.
Let an antenna fall on my hand, and I let it hit my antenna. I'm just getting electrocuted by my microphone.
Doggone lightning come down, hit your antenna, and it would weld your lips to that D104.
Oh yeah, I'll be fried. Goose fried.
The goose is cooked.
Like my goose, well done.
And all my CB stuff will be up for sale. My kids be selling it all.
Who would buy it if you got hit by lightning?
Well, everything else is still good.
How would you know? You'd be dead.
There's only one thing hooked up, and that's the $29.95. That might be fried.
Well, he'll be dead, and we can quit talking about him.
Well, couldn't he survive the thing?
It would be a flash sale.
It's dead. Stop talking about it.
Flash sale. Yeah, I can still be alive. I don't know. It depends how bad it was, I guess.
You're all dead. Oh, man.
27 on your radio dial.
Yeah, buddy.
No contact. No good.
get back. I'm back out.
There you go, Penny Snatcher. You got a copy?
Yeah. That's right.
About that Penny Snatcher, you got a copy?
Okay, come on, let's go. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, how's it sound?
It sounds good. Sounds good for shit for how many years. Good deal.
Roger that. Appreciate it.
Hello again, Panty Snatcher. I got you in my radio receiver.
10-4, how's it received? Everything looks good on it?
Yeah, so far so good. I'm hearing everything that comes my way.
Talking about Joker.
Yeah, everything seems to be working. The meter is slowly creeping up and down, but yeah, everything seems good. Seems like it's got good ears.
As he goes down the other side of the hill.
10-4. Yeah, I'm on that 138 XLR I got off him. I like the XLR models.
Montani doesn't even hold office, and all of the Democratic pitchforks are out from him.
So, Joker, what kind of work you going to be doing over there?
Studio recording.
Well, that's fun. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Nah, the boss wanted to go somewhere he's never been. We had some work to do, and half the guys live in Europe anyway. So, he's like, I'll find a studio and we'll go to it.
Sure. So you got it all set up?
Yep. Yeah, the one going down to Malta to record on a beautiful Neve console. Wow. With the still famous Neumann microphone.
That's right.
Did it cost $1,000? Probably. Yes, probably. Probably more than that. But it's amazing the exchange rate right now over there. Got a big old Neumann.
I'll be using an Electro voice.
I'll just use my D104. Good grief.
I'll use a stock mic.
I need to start out with a flat microphone so I can shape it to my liking.
Yeah, there you go. Microphone.
Yeah, you want to start with flat. And then the EQ can make up for any shortcomings.
I use my back special.
That's right, 31 bands of EQ.
Midnight special, my bad.
Yeah, that keeps bringing me back around. Whatever happened to 507, man? He just kind of faded away.
Because you guys wouldn't let them.
I do got to tighten the head up on this one. That was kind of loose.
Maybe he touched something he shouldn't have.
Yep, 20 hertz to 20K.
Lightning gun.
Ooh, that would be perfect for this radio.
I'll take 20K.
20 hertz?
20 hertz to 20K.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's typical music frequency response. You don't really need that much for voice.
No, it's just the idea. If it's wide open like that, the voices pass through there real clean. Any music, anything, especially if the harmonic distortion levels are extremely low.
Yeah, well, distortion is a good thing if it's the right kind. Because that's what makes everything sound good. That's why tubes sound so much warmer, because that warmth is really distortions.
One good thing about that DSP 9024, it does tube emulation. It has a tube emulation mode.
Oh, wow. Really? Wow. Now that's cool.
Yeah, you could select between a 12AX7, 12AU7, I think, an EL84, and there was something else. There was like 4 different tubes you could choose.
The AU7 actually sounds better than the AX7. It's smoother. I don't know why.
What processor processor are you using?
Well, I don't have it yet, but it'll be a Behringer DSP 9024.
Oh, okay.
That's the one I'll be acquiring to go with my Behringer 31 band EQ.
I would have never guessed that you'd get all that stuff before I did.
You know, like how I felt about all that, but my mind has been changed.
Yeah. You're like one of the followers of David Koresh there. Next thing you know, you'll be eating the pudding.
Yeah, I'm a follower, but now I'm following by somebody who knows how to lead.
Well, yeah, let's hope so. Hopefully not leading you down the primrose path.
Specifications are subject to change. Terms and conditions may apply.
But it all came about because of the transmitter that I'm using it with, 10 kilohertz wide capability transmitter, and the amplitude modulated low band mode. It sort of demands that.
Yeah, now that DIY, you can just drive the audio right into the front end of that, right? You don't need to do anything fancy with it.
That's correct.
Yeah, you don't have to do any external modulation or anything because that thing's already set up.
Yeah, 600 ohms at 0 dBm.
600 ohms.
Well, the lightning's quieting down.
I've learned more about audio in the last month than I ever knew in my entire life.
Audio's fun, man.
I never wanted to go down that road because I knew it was like almost a whole nother hobby. And well, here I am.
Well, see, I mean, I could lay the old, resistance is futile line when you're there because when you start playing with AM, it's inevitable that you're going to get into the high fidelity side of it. It's just inevitable.
Yep, you're right. You're absolutely right. And like I started out softly in the AM and just wanted the good quality tube transmitter to take care of business, which was fine for a while. And then I got into this new class D modulated transmitter that kind of really begs that you do this kind of stuff to get the most out of it. Well, I kind of want to get the most out of it, so here I go.
So you telling me that me and JR got to go buy new radios now?
No, not now. But I think after a time that you play with this Heath kit and all, that at some point you're going to wind up going down the same road.
Yeah, it's a rabbit hole, man. It's a rabbit hole. You're gonna wish you. Oh yeah.
Once you get started, it's like a snowball rolling downhill.
I'm going to stick with the springtime weather, 10-4.
Yeah. Bring back spring.
All right, so it's like a mud ball rolling downhill.
Mud ball.
Kind of like a mud ball, just gonna get bigger. But yeah, like, all right, well, now that I've got somebody teaching me what I need, what to do without making mistakes, I don't have to discover it on my own. I have a guide to lead me down the path. Makes it less trepidation on my part.
You want to sound like that 517, Dave.
No fear, no panic. No pain, no gain.
That's right. Night Train's got it. I want to sound like 507 Dave, which will never happen because he's got a radio voice, but I can get close.
Yeah, well, you have to get the equipment. You certainly can't do it over modded.
A lot of people do that. It's just your duty.
Yep.
You can always have a radio voice. You just have to know how to talk,
Yeah, well, I'll take my non-radio voice and turn it into a radio voice.
Via an electro voice.
That's right, electro voice. So I got the mic, I got the EQ, I need the processor, then I need the limiter, and then there we go.
Yeah, this would be Pete. 9, 9, 9.
I'm laughing over here.
And this portion of Classic Radio Roundup is brought to you by Richie's Drugstore, where our motto is, if it gets you high, we have it at low, low prices.
999.
Where specifications are subject to change, terms and conditions may apply.
And usually do.
Since we're on this topic, you have to check out this gate there, Train. Your radio's glowing in the background.
10 Roger, yeah. Dave is sending me pictures of that thing.
Thing is daggone beautiful. And it's Train approved cosmetically. It's literally a museum piece. It's that good. It's like as close to brand new for something that's 80 years old as you can get.
All right, yeah. Well, we got to make sure we don't do anything and create any dents, scratches, hits, runs, or anything else. No errors and no men left on.
That's right. No errors and no men left on.
That means you forget about that dolly going up the steps. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, the receiver's light. It's only 60 pounds.
It's stirred, not shaken.
Yeah, the receiver is light. It's only 60 pounds.
Yeah, well, we got to get it all up there. Did you put the face on the other one?
No. And the reason being is I'm not so sure that the replacement face is really any better than the face that's on it. It's kind of a judgment call, and I don't necessarily feel it's any better.
All right, well, let's just bring it along and keep it as a contingency.
Yeah, I figure I'll let you make that call because, you know, as I look at them both, I ain't quite sure the one's any better than the other, but maybe you can use the one that's off. You can find somebody that can redo it, you know. There's people out there that will redo that whole thing and make it like brand new, and then you can change it out. So, but you can still keep the radio working in the meantime.
I could probably build that table tomorrow.
Uh-oh.
Jump up and down on that table a couple of times, and if it don't collapse, it's strong enough.
Trust me, if I build that rascal, she's going to stand. She's going to be all right. It's going to be all right.
Now remember, you know, that all that weight doesn't include the speaker, and I think the speaker itself weighs 8 to 10 pounds.
Oh, man.
10-4.
I'm not kidding either. I'm not exaggerating any.
That's one heavy speaker. Good grief.
Yeah, it's like a 10-inch speaker with a heavy magnet and a big old metal box from like 1950.
Bet you that speaker sounds good.
It does. It really does.
That's why that radio sounds so good. You got one of those high fidelity speakers in a cabinet.
Yeah, back in those days, those people, when they made a thing, they didn't pull no punches. They were interested in actually making it the way it should be made. That's the reason why Classic Radio Roundup exists today. Dave, take it away. We do need a station identification.
That's right. And you're listening to 27.115 on your AM radio dial. Classic Radio Roundup on Channel 13.
Yeah, and there's more parts involved here than your typical radio setup because I think the radio's speaker output is like 500 or 5,000 ohms, whatever the heck he said. So there's a big heavy transformer between the radio and the speaker to make the speaker work.
Yeah, that's one of those, like them little, I don't know what they call those particular transformers, but they had them in school. They had them in school back in 1963. And speakers had that transformer on them, man. And the principal would get on and tell you what to do.
Yeah, the transformer for the speaker, it probably weighs a pound or two.
Hey, Pete.
Hey, what?
I haven't been active here in a long time. Whatever happened to Stewart?
Stewart disappeared, I don't know, several years ago. We used to talk to him regular and disappeared. He was living up in Hereford, and I don't know. I don't know his current status.
Yeah, the last time I heard Stewart was on the 145 3-1 repeater This was back during the whole nonsense with COVID. They used to tell people to carry a pair of skis around, and that way you can ensure yourself of being socially distant.
That's where I usually hang out at on.
But I have not heard him since then, so whether he's among the living or not, I couldn't tell you.
Hey, Green Dog.
Hello.
How did you make out with that classic radio that you obtained?
Well, from what the guys told me, it sounds good. Everything works except for lower sideband, but I can't use it with my box because when I key it up, the box will stay keyed up. And this isn't the only radio that I recently acquired that does this. But the box stays keyed up. I turn the radio off, and the box still stays keyed up, so I have to turn the box off. So, unfortunately, I can't get out good enough with a Fairflow radio for everybody to hear me.
All right, yes, there's another candidate for Dave's Radio Repair. Dave has been repairing radios for more than 40 years. That's a background of experience and a name that you can trust. Go to Sam Baggers today or visit baggerrepairs.com.
Anybody need voiceover work?
Yeah, I couldn't have done that any better myself.
Call Bagger today.
Anytime you have an amplifier like that where it stays keyed, that tells me the thing's taking off into oscillation. And that's not a good thing.
What, the amp is oscillating?
Yeah, it's self-oscillating. You know, I guess a certain, match or whatever between the radio and the antenna, or the radio and the amplifier causes it to take off into oscillation. And, you got to shut the amp off to get the thing to unkey. It's not a good thing. I mean, it could also be something stupid like the RF keying circuit is hanging up somehow, but hopefully it isn't. I would rather have that be the problem than having it oscillate, because usually when they go into self-oscillation, they eventually smoke themselves.
So it definitely sounds like it's more the amp's problem than the radio's.
Yeah, but why? So it doesn't happen with this radio, and this is the 2517, and I can key it from 2 watts to 5 watts into the box. It's fine. But the Cobra 2000 does it. The new Regency, and a Uniden PC122 does it. Now they all key like around 4 watts. Works fine with the Magnum S9. I think it was working okay with the Cobra 85.
Yeah, it's strange. Did you happen to notice when the amplifier stays keyed, if there's any power out on the watt meter?
Yes.
Oh, so it's still putting power out even if the radio's not transmitting.
Even with the radio turned off, it'll still put out power.
Yeah, then that's the amplifier's oscillating.
So I gotta send it back.
Yeah, she's in a loop.
It's got to do with if you do something really stupidly simple and change the length of your coax jumper between the amp and the radio, and that might fix it.
Okay. Because right now I think I've got a 9-footer in line. I believe it is.
Yeah, it might be a little too long. You could try like a 3-footer or 6-footer, and just see if something like that helps.
All right, I'll play with that tomorrow. I got the day off.
What kind of amp is that?
It's one of them. Well, it's Carl built, but it's sideband biased.
Oh, it's a Carl built. Okay, so it's similar to what Dave made.
Correct. Yeah, it's got the 2879s in it.
Does it have like a variable power on the front?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Because usually, if you have enough of a input pad in the front of it, that usually pads it down enough that it keeps it quiet. Does What is that, a 4-pill or a 5?
No, it's a 4-pill, high drive box.
Okay, yeah, that's probably why. You know, a lot of times if you have the 5-pill, it gives it enough of an isolation, I guess, that it calms down a little bit.
Yeah, it's a 4. I have a 4-pill box in the vehicle. It never had this issue before. 5-pill. I used to run off the power supply. Never had an issue like that before. This is all new to me, and I've never had so much trouble setting up a station. It's crazy.
Greenie, I think you're going to have to bring the amp and the radio when you come to Bagger Repairs. 10-4.
See, that's the other thing, too. You know, you put the amp into a dummy load or something like that, and it might not even do it. Or a different antenna might not even do it.
Well, then I got to thinking maybe it's the antenna hanging in the tree, but I took a page out of Pete's book and I put a counterpoise on it. Because, you know, the IMAX is supposed to be mounted to a pole, and I heard that helps the way they radiate or act. So it seemed to help there for a little bit, but so it's, you know, it's just like radio dependent. You know, it depends on what radio I'm using for it to start acting up.
Try that different length coax jumper thing. That may do it. I've done that myself, where I had that issue, and just change the impedance that thing sees, and it makes a difference. And it seems silly, but it works.
Yeah. I mean, I have a similar problem with mine. Certain radios make it throughout spurs, and other radios don't. And it's very radio dependent. I mean, if you had an antenna tuner that you could put between the radio and the amp, that might help it, you know.
That's right.
I don't. The only tuner I have is built just for the Yazoo.
Yeah, but try just changing jumper lengths. Sometimes that's all it'll take. Sometimes not, but it's worth a try.
Try the Yazoo anyway.
When you said sometimes not, that reminds me of the motor puppy.
Yeah, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Sometimes not.
Just watch out for the frozen pepperoni sticks on the Dan hour.
Oh, no.
Train, I was liking that speaker you sent me the other night. I'm seriously thinking about doing that for this radio.
Yeah, it can't hurt. You know, because you get a little bit more. In other words, they put a generic speaker inside of a little, you know. But you upgrade that speaker, man. And you're into, you know, a little listening pleasure. I really intend to work things out with that. I think I want to take my time.
Yeah, well, that's a full range speaker, so that's like, you know, I kind of like that idea. Like the magnet, you know, you're talking a #1 speaker, well, a top of the line speaker, so to speak. I think I got enough room into this little dinky base here to put that in there. I think that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I like that idea myself, man. I think there's enough room inside of my Midland. I like that Midland a lot. And I'm thinking anything that I could do to better that rascal will be acceptable.
Oh, I agree. Because that's about the same boat I'm in. Yeah, I agree. And that's a nice looking piece. And the speaker they have in there is kind of on the, you know, tinny side.
Yeah, that little speaker probably worth $1.50.
That's the audio of the Hallicrafters.
You know what I mean? The one that's in there. Just like the radio really doesn't deserve that. Tram would never have done a thing like that, and Browning either, for that matter. But for some reason they put that little thing in there, man. It sounds like something that come out of a transistor radio.
I figured I'd throw that at you. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I didn't think of it until now, there, Bagger, but Night Train will benefit. I turned the volume down on the realistic, tuned in the Hallicrafters, the 27115 on its AM radio dial. My God, you guys sound good.
That's that too, buddy.
That's because it's a good receiver and it's got, broad bandwidth.
Wow, you know the president had one of those, Pete. Did you know that?
President has one of what?
That I'll show it to you. I'll send you a text. I'll send you a picture.
I'm not sure what you're referring to, but anyway, I have to manually put the thing into standby for this arrangement to work. But I just thought of it. I thought, oh, I could tune this thing up. I'm using the wire antenna for receive, so the signals aren't going to be the same. But my God, the audio is fantastic on this thing.
Well, certainly make this thing sound good, I guess. 27.115 on your AM radio dial.
Oh yeah, it makes you sound really nice too. Ooh, I could probably do that Browning thing.
Yeah, you could sing like a Browning and sting like a bee.
Yeah, that's gonna disturb the household though if I do that too much. Can't do that too much.
No, you'll get one of those blanks. You'll get one of those stares, followed by fine.
What did you say, Buster? Sound like what? He says it sounded like a trumpet. I sent you the link. It was Harry Truman that had one of those receivers in his office.
Yeah, it's about the right time frame.
Yeah, I sent Pete the link. I'll send you the link too, Dave.
Truman had this Hallicrafters in his office?
Yes, he did.
Well, look at you, Night Train, being all presidential.
I got that information from 507.
507 is a fountain of information for radio. On in any direction, you audio, equipment, history, people. Oh, he's a freaking veritable encyclopedia.
It means that he must have a sharp memory.
And he sounds good on 80 meters, too.
He sounds good on anywhere he transmits. And he uses the same equipment on every band that he transmits on.
That's why he has to go get that equipment, man, all them EQs.
Why did you send me a Venmo link?
I didn't mean to send you that. Hold on.
Yeah, and my phone didn't ding. It's in my pocket.
I deal in cash, man.
So I'm not receiving everybody the same signal strength I would on my stick. The Hallicrafters is on the wire, but what I do hear sounds really good.
And this portion of 27.115 is brought to you by the 05 Amplifier Repair Institute, where our motto is, if you can buy it, we can fry it, and take great pleasure in doing so. Especially when the tubes go gassy. That's more better.
I hope I sent Pete the right one. Let me just check.
Again, my phone has not gone ding, so he hasn't sent me anything so far. But apparently you sent Bagger a Venmo link.
Yeah, that was my mistake. I corrected that. OJR, I corrected that one too. You could ignore the other one. Yeah, Pete, I sent it to you. Yours, for some strange reason, really don't like text messages from me.
I have the same issue with you. You must be on an Android or a Galaxy or something, because I'll send you, like, I'm lucky to get texts through to you, but to send you pictures or anything like that, man, it's almost like it just doesn't want to go. I don't know why.
Yeah, I have Android.
Yeah, I can tell that because when I get texts from people with Apple phones, it comes up in blue, but his come up in green.
The only one I ever have issues with is you, Night Train. Like, and I think JR once in a while. I never have any trouble sending you stuff there, Dave.
No, well, if you're Apple and I'm Apple, no, it's not going to be a problem.
Oh, I thought you just said you were Android.
No, I'm Apple. And, like the family and everything, whenever I get texts from other Apple people, they come up in blue. And if I get text from somebody who's Android, it comes up in green.
Yeah. Non-Apple users, it usually turns out to be a problem.
Don't take this the wrong way, but I didn't think you'd be an Apple guy there, Hamburger. Well, it was like one of those things where, the family was getting a phone, and it was like, okay, we're all on the same plan. And it's like, okay.
You better say it was cheaper.
What about you, Bike Buster? Are you Apple or Android?
Bike Buster's anti-Apple.
What are you, Bike Buster?
Why, I'm Android, of course.
All right. Yes, sir.
I'm cheap.
Well, you know what, Bike Buster? I don't really have a choice because we're on a family plan like Bagger, and we got Androids. 10-4.
Yeah, they make them that. Apple makes them that way so they don't hardly work with Android. They sort of do, but it's a big pain in the ass. It's designed that way.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's definitely gotten better than it used to be. There used to be a bigger divide. I don't think that divide's there anymore.
Yeah, it's because people got to do business.
That's right.
Yeah, and the creative people didn't want to worry about those Android guys anymore.
I don't understand how Bagger, being an IT guy, could fall for an Apple.
He wanted something that worked and didn't have to IT it all the time? I don't know.
Nah, that's just the opposite.
No, I think it's more like his wife said, we're getting these phones, and he went along for the ride.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what happened here. My children, they started it. They wanted mom and dad to be on cell phones. We didn't even have cell phones back then. And they wanted mommy and daddy to be on cell phones. Lower sideband. No, cell phones. So they put them in our hands.
Yeah, well, the combination, I mean, I had a flip phone for the longest time, and that was just fine. But the job I was doing, I needed to be able to load certain apps on there and everything, and it more or less obsoleted the flip phone, so I had to be drugged kicking and screaming into the smartphone era. Like I said, I started with PC when I got into the recording world, and then I went to Apple, and I have nothing. I don't have much nice to say about the PC, because I have the same one in the studio now for 15 years. Same hardware, same software, same everything. And every time I turn it on, it has to find all its hardware and all that mumbo jumbo. And then I had an Android tablet. Same thing. Hated it. Apple. By the way. It's easy. It works.
I like my Android tablet. Hey, Train, that text came over, and that speaker that you see in that picture, that's the speaker.
Hey, Roger. Yeah, nice. Did you see the radio in there, too?
Yeah. I figured you knew that was the radio. That is the radio. That is the cabinet that goes with the radio. And that speaker, that's the speaker. That speaker I'm sitting here looking at and listening to.
Hey, Roger. Yeah, nice. Very, very nice. Well, that was President Harry Truman. I sent you guys one to JR and Bagger.
Well, that's it right there. That's the setup that's headed your way that I'm enjoying at the present moment.
And that came from 507 sent me that article. You know, he was advertising a little bit. And the reason why the Venmo thing got caught up in there was because that's the method that we use to transfer the money.
Hey, Pete.
Hey, what?
I wonder if anybody on here has anything good for sale.
Oh, there's always people on here that have something good for sale. It's just whether it's good for you or good for somebody else.
Oh. Anybody got a copy on me?
Yeah, we got a copy. Who is that?
I got PA Trapper out here in Quakertown. You guys are sounding awesome. Where the heck are you?
Hey, PA Trapper, you got Night Train here. Yeah, you sounding good yourself.
I'm about, I guess, 8 miles south of Quakertown, Pennsylvania. What's your 20?
We're right on the west side of Pottstown, PA.
Wow. Nice job bending that old needle.
Hey, what brings you onto the radio? I'm just curious. What makes a man get back into radio? Come on back and tell me why.
Absolute boredom. I used to have all this thing way back in the mid-70s. Had a lot of fun. Never got rid of it. Same one I called. For years. I had a little bit of work to it. Make it get out a little better. But I've been into this thing for, oh my God, since 1975. And I just thought I'd turn it on and see who the heck is out there.
Well, welcome to Classic Radio Roundup. Introduce yourself to the guys. Let them know your handle. This is being recorded so you can get your name called and Pete can tell you what link to log into to hear yourself. So I'm going to stand by. They call me Mr. Night Train. That is Night Train with a K, your knight in shining armor, Pottstown, Pennsylvania. I'm standing by.
Good job. Well, I'm Pennsylvania Trapper, about 8 miles south of Quakertown, Pennsylvania. And I just have been on this thing since, wow, a very, very long time. And I just thought I'd turn it on and see who's out there. And look at this.
Well, hello there, PA Trapper. Spitfire 441. Welcome to the Classic Radio Roundup. Well, you may want to turn it on at least more often then. So this channel is occupied, not every evening, but most evenings you might find somebody out here. You will definitely find people out here on Wednesday nights from 8 to 10, and sometimes thereafter, and sometimes there before. Also Sunday nights, same time frame, on usually lower sideband, if you have a lower sideband capable radio. So Wednesdays and Sundays, you will definitely find people out here. Other nights of the week, you may or may not, depending on what people are doing. But it's not dead. But we're all here for sure on Wednesdays and Sundays. Glad you found us. Hope to hear you more. You're doing your thing. I'm just on the east side of Pottstown here in Sanatoga. I am recording and I upload to YouTube every day, or every Wednesday. Thursday mornings, I upload the video gate to YouTube, and just search Classic Radio Roundup. Of course, you're at the end of tonight's video gate, but search Classic Radio Roundup on YouTube, and you'll find this video, and they're labeled by date. Over.
Yeah, I definitely have to check that out.
Yeah, I got bored. I turned on the radio there, everybody was, but yeah, I'll have to check that out, no doubt about it. You guys are sounding awesome. I just hope I'm making a good trip back to you.
Good evening, PA Trapper. You got Joker over here in Valley, Pennsylvania. You're sounding good, sounding loud.
Oh, you're right, Joker. Better than Needle. Oh, you guys are like blowing me away out here. I like the old days when we had to settle for what wattage we had in the radio until we learned how to peak them out. Sounding good.
Why, what kind of radio are you working on?
I have an RCI right now, 2970, pushing about 67 watts with a push about 71.
Who is he at?
Like 440.
He says he's south of Quakertown by about 8 miles.
I just want to cut in real quick and just say good night. I want to get out of here. It's been another fun-filled Wednesday, so catch everyone later. 27.115, Classic Radio Roundup.
Have a good night there, Sandbagger.
Bagger, I didn't know which radios you ran tonight, at least the first one.
Tram Diamond 40 was my first radio tonight.
10-4.
Catch you later, Bagger. Have a good one. Till next time. Train, I can't. You know what? That speaker thing we were talking about? They want more than what they for shipping than what the heck they want for the unit.
Have a good night, Bagger.
That's because of the weight. Good night, dear Bagger.
Yeah, and I'm going to ride his coattails. It is almost 10:30, and I got to work tomorrow and all that. So that's 2.5 hours worth of video gate for this Classic Radio Wednesday. Appreciate everyone participating. It wouldn't be Classic Radio Roundup without everyone's participation. So I thank you. Look for the video gate sometime after tomorrow morning. And we'll see you the next time we're on the air. And there it is. 7-3 all. Thanks for the fun. County-wide radio, 441, the Spitfire. Signing off.
Have a good night there, Pete. Catch you there, Sandbagger. Catch you, Pete.
Skippy face.
Good night, dear Pete.
Catch you later, Pete. Have a good week. Catch you later, man. Have a good one. Don't work too hard tomorrow.
Hey, PA Trapper.
Hey, go ahead.
You do have a little crackly thing going on inside of your microphone, so when you get a chance, you can squirt some of that deoxid in those contacts, and just kind of clean the tips on the connectors and everything. Other than that, you sound real good, and you know now where to find us. 10-4.